Welcome to the Level Up Sports Talk Show. I'm your host, John, and we have our analysts this evening. I got Wes, I got CJ, I got James, I got Amon, and we're going to get into some NFL talk with the draft and how our teams actually did, who we thought did well, and who just straight up bummed out. So we're going to get right into it for this evening's episode. Question number one: how do you feel about your team's picks in the NFL draft? So I'll start off with Wes, work more with CJ, and then James, and then Amon.
Yeah, I wasn't too thrilled with the Falcons. We only had the five. We didn't have a first round due to trade and some other. But um, you know, I the first pick I felt okay, pretty good. I knew we needed some help defensively, especially over the top. But it was just everything else to me was kind of lackluster, even down to the branch coming in. Like London needs help, and I don't know. I know that he'd be able to. He'd be a good addition, kind of, slot receiver. He's very undersized. He's got some speed, so maybe he can beat some secondaries over the top. But it just nothing really just wowed me out of the draft. I felt like we had too many other needs at defense and even offensive, line to take and check, and just we didn't check those boxes. I was really hoping to get Hurst from Georgia Southern. I thought a big body guy like that could really uh, would work best for us, but just it didn't happen. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. He does check off, at least Branch does check off kind of a box there with our special teams need for punt returns, kickoff returns. So, I mean, it's just we'll see. But I was not excited.
Okay, you weren't excited. All right. CJ, how about you, man? How did you feel the Commanders did for you?
First off, I felt like we did pretty good. I think we felt held up our end fairly well. The first pick going to Sonny Styles. Now, it wasn't a need, but he definitely was probably the best player at at that time and at that position. And with us, we need you need a phenomenal linebacker. That's almost about as good as picking a quarterback for your team.
Yeah.
So as this defense starts to age and try to get better, we definitely needed a linebacker type quarterback in that position. And coming in at 6'5", 240, 240, hey, that's a wrecking ball for anybody. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
So so you definitely that was definitely a solid pick. Then us going with Antonio Williams with our third round pick from Clemson, to me, wasn't a thought that I thought we should have went. I thought we should have tried to focus on trying to get a corner, but it made me realize that also too that Debo ain't Debo anymore, and one of the biggest things is like Scary Terry is only as good as the other weapons on the team. The other weapons are there to take the pressure off of him. He's already going to be double covered, but he needs the other guys to make those openings or those concerns or second guesses.
Right.
And Antonio Williams is hopefully he looks like a young Debo Samuels when I saw that coming up.
Yeah.
The rest of the picks, fifth, sixth, we went with an edge rusher, another running back, a center, and then a quarterback in the seventh round. Um, Again, we're trying to flesh out and trying to stack up in those other positions where we're kind of already pretty good. But our main focus and weakness is our DBs, and I think they're probably going to try and trade and try and get either trade or see what falls in this after after the off season. So we'll see what they end up doing to try to fix that definitely weakness of ours. But I was impressed with us overall though for the draft.
Okay. James, how about you in the Jets?
Yeah, for me, I'm happy with the draft. I think we did great. We had a total of what eight picks. But we had first round. You see, we had three great first round picks. We picked up an edge from Texas Tech, and then on 16th pick we picked up Keon from a tight end from Oregon. I mean, and I was really wanted us to focus more on defense. But yeah, I mean, we picked up a receiver also with our third pick. But yet we still came back. We got a cornerback on a second round pick, defensive tackle, fourth round. We had two fourth round picks. We picked up a QB as well there. So, but I was still impressed because we need to work. We got so much we need to do, and we know we was going to need a receiver, like I mentioned before. We need somebody on opposite side of Wilson is really going to take some pressure off of him. And tight ends are always important too. So it's good to be able to get a good tight end um early if we can too. So I'm definitely happy with our picks. We still got some work to do, but I think also too next year we're looking pretty good too on draft pick. You know, it's not a 1 year thing, but it's building. I think we did a good job building this year.
All right. Amon, we'll go to you with the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, Mon, are you able? If not, I will go. All right, so I'll go next. And so with the Green Bay Packers, um, I was actually pleasantly surprised. We didn't have a first round pick for that first round. So we ended up getting we needed defensive players. And I'm happy that they actually focused on that. So our first pick was Brandon Siss out of South Carolina. We got Chris McClellan out of Missouri as a defensive tackle. Um, we also have an edge rusher, Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State. And the reason why I was so happy with that is because you have Michael Parsons. He's still coming off that injury, so we're not going to know how he's going to feel going into that training camp. But I was happy. The one pick that I was super happy about was Damani Jackson. We got him in the sixth round, cornerback out of Alabama. He originally started at USC. He's a pretty big cornerback. He's about 6'1" and 195 pounds. He can hold his own and he is not afraid to tackle. So that's one of the main key points that I was so happy that we actually got. And we ended off the draft in the sixth round, the 35th pick in the sixth round with a place kicker. I like his name, Trey Smack. So hopefully he lives up to the last name. But yeah, so the Green Bay Packers actually did pretty good. The only thing I was not happy with, we did not get any. We needed an offensive tackle as well as an offensive guard. The only thing that I can say about that is maybe one of those players that we got coming in the training camp that was undrafted could fill in that spot. But other than that, I was pleasantly surprised with our draft. Amandi, we got you now. If not, we will keep on moving. All right. So question number 2 for tonight. In your opinion, I'm gonna go back to you first, James. What NFL team had the best draft based on players slash need, in your opinion?
Man, this one's tough. I think it was a couple teams, but I'm gonna lean on Dallas and say, I think they did, and I'll tell you why. Because honestly, what they focus on defense because we know they have a very potent offense anyway. So you really got
Mhm.
to focus on your defense because the defense was struggling, and they picked up Caleb Downs, safety from Ohio State at number 11, and then they got another number one pick, number 23. They picked up an edge, Malachi Lawrence from UCF, and then in round number 3 they picked up a linebacker. I mean, man, they just preparing defensively because that's what they needed.
Yeah,
and they went for
yeah,
everything they needed. That's the thing with having a team that you're very strong in some areas, and then you have one area that's weak to just focus on that. So they had one goal, focus on defense, and did exactly that. So kudos to them. Fourth round, they picked up a cornerback, Devin Moore from Florida. So man, they it was very impressive on their draft, I think. So hey, Dallas fans, I know you guys been struggling for a long time. It's like the okie dokie every time when you think you're gonna do something. But look, I'm hopeful for you guys. Defense look like it might be good. If you guys don't really have a top 10 defense, or I would say top 12 defense, then you gotta look at coaching, eventually.
true, true. All right. CJ, what did you say about it, man? Who, in your opinion, had the best draft based on players in need? All right, you muted.
My fault.
There you
Myself
go.
on over there. Uh, it's hard. Like I said, yeah, I'm more focused. I was more focused on my team about what we was going after, but uh, I have to say, I mean, I feel like with I want to say the Jets did pretty good though. I say with their three pick, all of them, James, it was all first round picks, wasn't that right?
Well,
Out of the
the first three was first round. Yeah,
Right.
all first
and
round.
and and all of them hit what they were supposed to hit. You know what I'm saying? They hit and that's everything that they necessarily needed. And like I said, a lot of teams that have those first round picks, like I said, first round picks are being meant to be, to me, they're gonna be starters.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
If I pick you in the first round, you're gonna start. You're gonna start in your position. So, and that means that if you fit that quality, you fit that need. That's why I feel like a lot of the if you had the most picks, I think they did a great job doing what they was going after. The people that made moves later, and you know what I'm saying, uh, some of them I still went they went for drafts. They draft a player, but you draft a player that's possibly gonna be a backup, so
Right.
you don't know the definite. But when you know for sure that they're going to play, that's why I say the Jets did a great job to me.
Okay. Wes, how about you? Who do you think did the best job with the draft based on their needs for that draft and everything?
Yeah, well, to me, uh, I think the Tennessee Titans get it out of the park. And that's just with them going after Carnell Tate, the
Okay.
number 4 pick. I know a lot of people thought maybe they were going to go Love there, but I like the pick with Carnell Tate.
Okay.
Uh, and then I also like what they did at the end of the first round by taking Keldrick Faulk with Auburn. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, after taking him, and then of course alongside they have Anthony Hill Jr. That's going to be a pretty affordable defense there with Robert Sala. I think they're really going to improve. I don't know how much, but I imagine you can't go wrong with an Ohio State uh, wide receiver these days. And then Dayball, he has a lot of experience with rookie receivers and feeding them the ball. And you got Cam Ward there with a pretty big arm. And they also have, you know, Wandale Robinson, who I thought did extremely well last year. And he's a very serviceable receiver. And Calvin Ridley is still there. So I think that's going to be a much better offense. And then the fifth round, they took a running back out of Penn State. It really
Hmm.
fits the bill. I mean, he's a 6 foot, 6'1", solid guy north to south, and he has over
Hmm.
5,500 yards at Penn State. And that was a split backfield last year. So I mean, I think Tennessee Titans and along with the Cowboys did extremely well but I'm looking at the Titans to take a pretty good little leap this season.
Okay. Man, so I had two teams in mind, but the actual one that I'm going to talk more about is going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The one thing, the other team that I really I like what James' team did with the Jets. First round, they needed pass rusher. They
Mm-hmm.
got that with David Bailey. That guy, I think, is going to be a monster. I think how the impact, and I know it's going to be a stretch, but I think the impact that you see um, that we just seen from the Browns and their main guy, they've been talking about whether should they trade him or get more picks or whatever. I think he's going to be that type of talent. I watched him in a few games with Texas Tech. Man, the guy really is. He's unblockable. James, I think you're gonna love him, man. I think you're gonna you might even get you a Bailey jersey later on. So I really like the Jets, but the one team I'm gonna talk more about is Tampa Bay, and I'm gonna tell you why. So they needed defense. The games that you had Baker Mayfield do well in last year, defense didn't show up, and that's really Todd Bowles' bread and butter. So they
Mhm.
needed an edge rusher, they needed a cornerback, they needed a defensive tackle, they needed a linebacker, and they needed a tight end. Well, they hit on every one of them, but the one in particular, they get Reuben Bain Jr. And I watched this guy all last year because my Florida State Seminoles got slaughtered by him. Him and Mesidor. They just whooped him. I just beat us up on the line. This guy falls to the 15th pick, and it was all because they said, "Oh, well, his arms are not long, or this and that."
Yeah.
Forget what you think about his arms. What does he do on the field?
Yeah.
And so, to me, I thought that they hit on him. Second round, they get Josiah Trotter, linebacker out of Missouri. They got Ted Hurst that you spoke about early, Wes. Ted Hurst, Georgia State wide receiver. I mean, the guy is like 6'4", 206. He's a monster. Keontae Scott, championship team. He was on Miami's team last year. They get him. Um, then DeMonte Capehart, defensive tackle out of Clemson. Billy Schroth, offensive guard out of Notre Dame. And then they get the tight end that they need, Bauer Sharp. And this guy is like 6'5", 249 out of LSU. Tampa
Mhm.
Bay, to me, I just felt like based on what fell to them, they met their need, but they also got value at their pick. And
Mhm.
I just think they kind of hit it out of the park with that.
Yeah. There were another team that I thought hit the mark too. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
All right.
hey,
absolutely. Mhm.
hey, piggyback off John though. Hey, I didn't say his name, but hey, bro, the James that tight end y'all got too, boy. Gonna be
Kenyon
hey,
Sadiq, yeah, Kenyon Sadiq.
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. And
hey,
from Oregon.
hey,
Yeah,
bro, hey. Like I said, y'all needed, y'all went and y'all got what y'all needed, bro. Y'all
Mhm.
needed. You got a big tight end that could move, and then y'all went and then y'all got Cooper too.
Yeah,
yeah,
Mark Cooper.
Cooper.
Yeah,
So
that's a good pick.
y'all are getting y'all becoming offensively a problem.
Yeah,
yeah,
You becoming a problem. That's why I
yeah,
give y'all kudos, bro. Y'all first three rounds. I mean the first three first round picks, excellent, bro.
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm okay with getting a QB late in the fourth round because to get a QB in the fourth round, you get some gems right there. Because
yeah,
a lot of time people are just focused on the ones that's coming out early, but sometimes you get lucky and get a gem there. At least you get all your value early from the positions you truly need right now. So
Yeah.
I'm happy.
yeah. And I think the way they ended the draft when they got K Clubber in the fourth round. Well, let's think about it this way: for based off what they got and the presence that they're going to get with Geno Smith coming to the squad, they probably feel like, okay, we're going to win some more games than what people are probably thinking we're going to win, even though how bad our defense was last year. They got better and they hit on needs. So imagine that. So they went and got Cade Klubnik. Everybody knows next year there's going to be so many quarterbacks coming out. You got Arch Manning, you got
Yeah.
Dante Moore out of Oregon, you got this one, that one. So there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks going to be going next year. But they felt like, hey, let's bring somebody in now, later in the draft, and let Geno kind of mold him. So yeah, I think New York did a well job too as well. Um,
Yeah.
so we've talked about who did well. Question number three: what NFL team did you give a bad grade to?
Sure.
Um, I'm going to start on this one. And we kind of talked about it the weeks prior when we talked about Simpson and the
Boom.
time that he had to start. Now,
Boom.
I don't have a problem with it being Simpson since we do know that Stafford is probably getting in his latter years. But let's think about it. Man, you're the Rams. The one team that you had in the playoffs that you went against the best team was the Seattle Seahawks, which won the Super Bowl. Why not take that? You know what the Seahawks going to be bringing. They're going to run. They're going to have a great defense, and they're going to run the football. And they got Smith and Jigba. Why not combat that? Maybe you had a chance to actually go get a guy like I think at that pick. I mean, you had Makai Lemon, some other receivers that were highly drafted. You could have went and had somebody on the other side of Puka Nacua, but you
Mhm.
chose to get the quarterback. Not saying it's wrong, but I think Simpson would have probably been there if you just waited.
I think
So
so.
that's
Yeah,
where
he would have
I'm
been.
at, man. I was like,
Well,
I was looking at the pick and I was like, Simpson that early? I was like,
hmm
wow. I was like, I didn't see that one coming. But
yeah.
that's me. That's my thought. Wes, I'll go to you, and then I go to the
Well,
guys.
yeah, I mean, I agree. It's hard to go against. You're like, am I really going to go against Sean McVay and like what he's doing? But that made no sense because when you have that opportunity to get an impact player on either side of the ball,
Right.
and you
Yeah.
throw that screwball with Simpson, it just threw it just blew my mind.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that was crazy for me. That was one of those that I was like, wow. And then even your second and your third, it just it was wild to me because again those were guys that most everyone had much lower that you could have got in later rounds. So that just didn't make sense. So I don't know if he has a magic crystal ball or what. Time will tell. But
Time will tell.
between that and the Minnesota Vikings, I just scratched my head a good bit. So and my Atlanta Falcons. I mean, again, I wasn't. I wasn't. When you're just talking about the Tampa Bay, I mean, to me, we did nothing to better ourselves to get over Tampa Bay. I mean, I feel like, you know, did an extremely good job. But the first pick, okay, it's a good story with the brothers playing on each corner now.
Hmm.
But other than that, it was just I was scratching my head. I mean, we had an opportunity to get Hurst, but then we chose a 5'9", 158-pound guy to be in the slot, and I don't know how that's going to play out. But we shall see. And when you're 5'8" in the NFL, that's program height and weight. So just go ahead and say my man's probably 5'6" and a quarter and a buck 43. So I don't know. Someone's going to have to take him to the varsity and get him beefed up. I don't know, but that's
Only thing I say for that, Wes, in his defense, I mean, the guy, Zechariah Branch, he's a playmaker out of Georgia. I
yeah.
will give him
I mean,
that.
like he reminds me of Percy Harvin.
Yeah,
I mean,
basically. I
but
mean, he's just a smaller version, but
that's what you're getting. But I hope. I mean, I hope I'm eating crow this time next year.
the
To be
only thing I
honest
agree with you on is this.
with you.
They did not go against the need that you said earlier when we talked about a couple weeks ago, James Pierce and him getting that felony
Right.
and not
You don't
being
know
able
his
to,
certainty.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the only problem. Yeah. So James,
Yeah.
I'm going to go to you next, and then I go to CJ.
Man, I don't know. I think West might have be on point with that. It wasn't his first pick, but the Falcons, yeah, I think they had a tough draft. But I don't know, man. Maybe I'll say 49ers. And I think only reason I'm saying that is because I'm kind of disappointed in And the fact that they traded their 2027 first round pick, to try to get a couple early picks in the second and third round. I mean, I just because you look at that picks, right? You look at the 49ers, you go get round two, number 33, you get Dejon Stribling, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Okay, I mean that's a good pick because I think they do need some offensive weapons right now.
Yeah.
But then I don't know if I'd pick a running back at number three unless they know something I don't know. I mean, I don't see why they need a running back at number three. I could tell me if it's something I'm missing. Maybe McCaffrey, if he's getting kind of old, maybe injury. I don't know. But and then they got round three. Also, they got they got Romello Height, DL Texas Tech. I mean, and the picks they got okay picks, but I feel like they could have done better. I would have never traded my first round pick for what for that. Because next year I think the draft is gonna be. I don't know unless it's something I don't know, but I would never trade my first round pick for 2027. But I think that's why I feel like I give them a bad grade because there's no reason. I don't see the value they really got for their team.
Yeah, I agree with you on the pick with Romello Height, just because Romello Height with Texas Tech, he played with David Bailey as well. He only benefited from Bailey when he got double teamed from people trying to block him. So that's how he benefited with the 10 sacks. So I agree with you on that. CJ, what do you say about yours? Who do you think they had the bad grade?
Bro, I'm with you. So the Rams get a super terrible grade for me because again, I sit here and say first round picks are for people that are going to start and
Right.
make a change for your team. The Rams went and got Ty Simpson. Simpson is not a first round talent. He ain't showed me nothing that said he's warranted a first round. The need, even if you needed a quarterback, it still didn't warrant him to get picked up in the first round because only so many teams needed a quarterback.
Right.
And I'm looking, and that's why, and that's going back into what we was talking about too, is position and what your needs were. The Rams' needs, which surprisingly on their much needed list was wide receiver. And I looked at the wide receivers that got drafted, and you like, bro, at their
Yeah.
position, they had already took Jordan and
Yeah.
Cornell Tate. So
Yeah.
now you got bruh, Lemon, Conception, Cooper, and and the wide receiver we just talking about for the 49ers.
It's like they
Simple.
forgot it. They forgot they knew they needed a receiver, and it's like, oh, we forgot. We need a receiver. Go get that guy now.
Yeah.
Yeah, at round six.
I'm like, bro, like you had uh, anyone, and the 49ers got a steal with Stibble. I the 6'2", running 4.3, on a 4.3 on the 40. So yeah, bro, I would have, if I was the Rams, I would have took him in the first round and then came back in to grab Ty Simpson later, but Ty Simpson just did not warrant it a first round pick. That's all.
Yeah.
Like that. That's all I'm saying. Because again, when you look back at it in the history of Alabama quarterbacks, besides Jalen, and like who is a prolific, great Alabama quarterback? Jalen Hurts ain't a great quarterback. He's a good quarterback, decent quarterback,
Yeah.
but the team carried him to that Super Bowl. He did what he did, didn't turn the ball over. He ran when he needed, but great quarterbacks. Alabama ain't produced none. So
The only
you
one that I
grab.
remember, and that's Joe Namath. That's a long time ago.
So that's what I'm saying. So when
Long
you
time
look
ago.
at it, you're like, man, like what warranted you going to get him?
Yeah.
But I will say, taking it back further, like quarterbacks historically with less than 17 career starts have not really fared too well.
Yeah.
Although Cam Ward is one of them, and I think he's probably going to be on the up and up. But Yeah, I mean, I hear her saying it was just crazy. It was just buffoonery.
Yeah,
Let
and
me
you know
also
what?
say
You know
throw
what,
another
bro?
name out before I forget, and I'm gonna go to you, James. Ken Stabler. Don't let me be remiss. Ken Stabler with the Raiders. He did win a Super Bowl, and he did come in front of out of Alabama. So I wanted to throw that out there. Go ahead, James.
No, but I agree. You know, even though I was stupefied by 49ers trading their number one draft pick for next year, because I think it's going to be a good draft. It's going to speak volume next year, especially if you need a quarterback. But the thing is, so many good quarterbacks, people gonna try to get these core teams good quarterbacks early, and there's going to be some good players that's going to be
Yeah.
available in other positions that you can fill in. That's why. But I agree 100% with you guys because I already knocked that Ty Simpson pick. I said he was not a number one pick, most likely sometime mid-second round. So yeah, although that should be my number one disappointment too, is picking him so early in the draft because especially if you need a quarterback, right?
Right.
Hey, get what you need right now. Focus on next year. You got the
Right.
MVP. Focus on next year to see what happens with the next season, and you probably could still get a good quarterback in a quarterback heavy draft next year. So I agree 100% for sure.
All right. So Amon, we're gonna let you chime in, man, if you're able to. Tell me let me first of all, let me get what were your thoughts on the Raiders? Did you like what they actually did? I know they ended up getting a quarterback, but did you like the rest of the draft for the Raiders? You muted.
You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute, Mod.
I don't think
Okay.
Amon. I
We'll,
don't think
we'll
Amon
yeah,
is.
we'll come back to you, Mod.
I think Amon dropped off. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
down here
tell
at
you
the
though,
bottom. Yeah, I can see him.
I
Yeah,
like
but
the
he
Raiders.
yeah.
I think the Raiders did pretty well in the draft.
Um,
I liked who they
so
had.
Yeah, Wes spoke up for your Raiders, so you're good.
Yeah, I
yeah.
like them, man. Hey, I'm telling you that Washington kid reminds me a lot of Darren McFadden, not just because he's from Arkansas, but they they did extremely well in their drafts, and I think they did extremely well in the offseason. So it's going to be
And
interesting to see what
and
goes
just
on.
to give you guys guys on there on online watching the show, they ended up getting the first round. They got Fernando Mendoza, quarterback. Second round, they got Trayden Stukes. He's a safety out of Arizona. Keyron Crawford, edge rusher out of Auburn. Trey Zoom, third round, center. They got it's kind of like a steal for me because they said they thought everybody passed on him, but they said he was cleared. That's Jamar McCoy. And I watched him play. He actually can shut down the side
Very
if
good.
he's healthy. So cornerback wise, he was great. Mike Washington, running back, he was very good out of Arkansas. Dalton Johnson, Arizona, he's a safety. Hezekiah Masses out of California, cornerback. Malik Benson, receiver out of Oregon, and they ended it out seventh round. Brandon Cleveland, a defensive tackle out of North Carolina State. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Amon.
Oh, okay. I was having a problem with my phone, man. But I love our draft. I mean, I think everybody just focused on Mendoza. Um, that was the main call everybody really was focused on. And they did what they said. They got I would want more linemen though. They got
Yeah.
like one in the sixth, I think the sixth round. The kid from Texas A&M,
So they
Trey
so they
something.
got they got Trey Zoon out of third round 27 pick. They got him as center. But they did only get one. I see he dropped off. So they only got one player that was a center. So the one thing I will say, and I know he's having a problem with his phone, they did do enough, I think, in the off season.
Offseason, yeah.
Free agency, yeah, they actually picked up some linemen. So I think they're going to be solid.
Yeah,
Whether they
solid.
want to wait
That,
and
that
let,
kid from A&M is a beast.
yeah.
But the guy, the Pro Bowler they got from Baltimore is really. I mean, I'm telling you, it's going to be fun to watch him this year.
Yeah.
See how well they improve.
I'll just say it like this. I don't think it all depends on how we see Cousins. I know if he's the same Kirk Cousins we saw from last year, it won't be long. We'll see Fernando Mendoza throw it in there pretty early. But I do think
Mhm.
he's a good player that can kind of mold and
Yeah,
show,
good player,
Mendoza, this is what
mentor,
you need to
leader.
do as
Hmm.
you get ready to start. So.
Yeah, that's true. I always thought Raiders had a decent core receiver. They just need a good quarterback. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? Not more than a good quarterback. You need a good offensive line to protect him, and you need a really good quarterback that knows how to put the ball where it needs to be. They have a solid core. I mean, they ain't like superstar receivers, but still, when you have a solid core receiver, you just need a great defense and a quarterback to get them the ball.
hey man.
Yeah.
Raiders gonna make the playoffs, man. Do the Kurt will get them there first year. He'll get them there that first year, but then after that, hey, then he gonna be an example for the boy. That's all. Good example.
We'll see.
Hey, real quick,
Yes.
who do you think is going to be the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns this year?
Mm, mm.
As it's ended last year, I would have to give it as of right now. This is not training camp or anything like that. I think Shador was heading in the right track, so I think Shador will start off. Now that being said, if Deshaun Watson is healthy, because he's a vet, man, if he hasn't lost what he had before previous injury, then maybe Deshaun Watson. But if I had to put money in it right now, I'm saying Shador Sanders starts the season. Yes.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be Deshaun that starts.
Okay.
Deshaun's gonna start it too, because he's getting paid too much.
Yeah.
He's getting paid too much money to sit. You know what I'm saying? So if he is healthy, if he's healthy, they're gonna play him.
Okay. James, you have any? Who do you think out of that group that may start?
Man, I ain't got no thoughts on that. Because honestly, I mean, Shador, he played good, solid last year. You know, they brought him in. It seemed like he was going to just take over the starting role. But yeah, I mean, you got Deshaun Watson. He seemed like he's washed up. But, I think if they don't feel confident with Shador, they might just put Watson in there just to see if he could, have a revival year. I mean, sometimes some players they come in a different situation and they just, may play better. I forgot about Deshaun Watson. I thought he was
Yeah.
done out the league, but
So,
I
Yeah,
don't know.
he's
I
yeah.
guess I'll just say Sanders because they gave him a shot and he played solid, so maybe they'll just ride him out.
the only
Well,
reason why I said that is just maybe because they want to just, I don't know, work his way
so
in
this,
back in. But
yeah,
to CJ's point, he's getting paid, and I'll say it out loud, $46 million.
yeah, yeah.
So
You know what? But this is what's crazy. So I don't know if you paid attention to who they drafted in round 4, round 5.
Taylor Green, yes, I watched it. Yeah,
Galen Green.
Taylor Green.
Like who who does Todd Monk like? What kind of quarterback has he been around for the past couple of years?
He definitely likes a guy that's mobile and can move, and he can
Likes a
definitely
guy
do
that's
that.
mobile, likes that. This is Todd Monk's kind of guy. And that's
Yeah.
the only thing I'm thinking before the season starts. I think Deshaun Watson is going to be shipped off somewhere, but I think
Yeah,
he's either going to be cut or he's going to be
yeah,
shipped. But
exactly.
I could see Green coming in just because I mean it's you've already got Gabriel, you've got Shador, and now you got this guy coming in all on what's going to be a very friendly contract for the
Hmm.
next few years.
The one thing I will
So
give to their credit before we get to the next question is they did get two offensive tackles, and they actually picked up two receivers finally because they hadn't had anybody to throw to, and that was out of KC Conception, out of
Mm-hmm.
Texas
yeah,
A&M, and they also got Denzel
in Boston,
Boston out of
Boston. Yeah.
yeah,
Washington. He's
yeah,
very big guy, but he's good. He's solid.
yeah.
6'3",
That's two good.
212.
They
That's
still
two
have
great
Isaiah
picks.
Bond.
Yeah.
Yes,
They
two
got
great
Isaiah
picks. Yeah.
Bond too.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Last question for today. Who is your favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year award? James, I go to you, then I go to CJ West, and then I end it off.
Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say last year what I said. I said, "Oh, Genty's gonna win Offensive Rookie of the Year," but then here comes McMillan, over 1,000 yards,
Yep.
and 14.2, I believe, average per reception. So I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking Jeremiah Love because Arizona picked him so high. you picking him so high, most likely he's gonna start because they didn't have a good running game. Yeah, either one of those running backs was really showing anything. So he starts, he gets a lot of carries, he's getting rushes, he's getting catches out the backfield. Genti got what 900 something rushing yards, which was to me was surprising. I didn't think he was gonna get as much, and he was such a focal part of the offense with receptions out the backfield because they didn't have a great passing game, and I'm surprised he didn't get it still. But I think Jeremiah Love, he'll get that opportunity as well with the workload that he's looking forward to, most likely.
All right. CJ, who do you have? Rookie of the year.
Hey, I was about to go right there with James too, but I'll change it up a little bit. I will say, honestly, I'm gonna go with the tight end for the Jets.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with him because most the biggest thing, like I said, they needed somebody to kind of get off in that middle, and with them adding weapons and as a tight end is a security blanket for most of them. The running game for a lot of teams is not the focal point. I understand Arizona and stuff like that, but they got to be good on for a running game to work. You got to be good kind of on all cases, all sides, and they still got to work on that offensive line. So for the rookie offensive rookie of the year, I'll go with Kenya.
All right. Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. Okay. Wes, who do you have?
Well, the only way Ken's going to get the offensive rookie of the year is if he's what he's getting brought into, and that's to block, because he ain't going to be doing much of anything else. Omar Jr. has a better chance than he does, but I will say this: I'm going to give you. I mentioned him earlier, Tate for wide receiver. I think he is on track. That like James said earlier, he went to a wide receiver last time and went to my man McMillan, whatever, and he had over 1,000 yards, 7
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be a receiver, and I think he has a very good opportunity. They want to throw it down the field. He's going to stretch it. It's going to open up because Ridley and Wandell underneath, and so I'm looking for that. But I'll give you a dark horse. Someone that could possibly get offensive rookie of the year is the Cardinal, but it's not going to be Love. It's going to be Carson Beck because they're
Okay.
going to be throwing a lot to try to come back to the game.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Okay. All right. So I'll end it off. And this is going to be a long shot pick. But the only reason I went with this guy is because I actually watched him out here as I moved out to Washington State. I got a chance to watch USC a lot, and that's going to be Makai Lemon. And the reason being, he has a chance in his position. If AJ Brown goes to the New England Patriots, it's going to be open up for Devontae, and it's going to open up for him. And as a rookie, I see somebody's got to get the ball and catch the ball. Jalen is not going to be taking sacks and running around for his life. So it's got to go. It's got to go to one of those guys. And I say if AJ Brown, who was getting all those targets, he's about to get a lot of targets now if he's not there. So I'll give him a long shot, and I'll go with Makai Lemon out of USC. All right, so that'll end it off for this show, and we'll probably catch back up later around the training camp portion of the NFL. And until then, we just ask all of you guys continue to subscribe to us, like us, and until the next show, level up. You guys have a blessed week.
All right, level up,
Uh,
fellas.
well,
Yep.